For decades, the Karamoja communities of Kenya and Uganda have faced poverty and conflict, much of it rooted in competition over scarce resources like pasture and water. Cattle raiding, drought, and marginalization left generations vulnerable. In April 2024, the United Nations Development Programme approved a special allocation through the Africa Borderlands Center. This funding was dedicated to scaling impact, addressing socio-economic challenges, boosting cross-border trade, and strengthening peace in Karamoja region of Kenya and Uganda. A joint mission in June 2024 laid the foundation, engaging stakeholders, securing ownership, and grounding the project in local needs. Peace is the foundation. Community dialogues and cross-border meetings have reduced tensions, created space for collaboration, and nurtured coexistence. With government engagement from the start, the project aligned with Uganda and Kenya's priorities, while bringing partners together to ensure sustainability. In just over a year, the Karamoja Project has strengthened livelihoods and resilience. Farmers not only received seeds, but also practical training in modern agronomy, knowledge they are now applying to grow maize, hay, and honey. These value chains are feeding families while creating new opportunities for cross-border trade.
On the value chains that you are promoting, specifically the maize value chain and the hay value chain, both in Kenya and in Uganda, registered a total success. Just this past week, when we conducted the terminal evaluation, farmers were actually asking that where are the machines to help with harvesting? Where are the stores where they're going to store the hay? The harvest performed so good so that in parts of West Pokot County, they have already started to duplicate the same exercise. Talk of a project taking a natural course and scaling almost on its own.
Now, after being trained, what changed is that there was also, we were taken through the process of producing a good harvest. Then from preparation, what we are supposed to do when we are preparing our land, when we are plowing, planting, the spaces is what we did not have. And going through that, it has made us also, because sometimes 1 acre, we can plant even less than 10 kilos. Because we only plant anyhowly. Because steps we are not exactly, but after that, it has really improved. It has helped us because we can now use more seeds in our farms because of the spacings and everything.
Communities have also embraced sustainable beekeeping, turning honey into both nutrition and income. Though modest, these interventions have been truly transformative, enabling households to secure food, diversify their earnings, and withstand the shocks of a changing climate.
The communities had a very good returns in terms of their lives. They're using little time looking for water, and also the animals, at least they get some pastures and fodders to make them healthy. The project also incorporates production of crops, which we've seen is important because of the dietary change for these communities who some time back used to survive only on livestock products, but these days now they're consuming more of the cereals and even pulses. And the idea of the county government also is to support this pastoralism to a level where they have agriculturists and have pastoralists, that is agro-pastoralists. So the two go hand in hand, and the idea is to create resilience, to these climate risks brought about majorly by the climate change.
Beyond immediate livelihood support, the project has also laid the groundwork for long-term investment through the cross-border SDG investor map. Covering Moroto in Uganda and West Pokot in Kenya, we identified commercially viable opportunities that align with community needs and the Sustainable Development Goals. This map highlights opportunities in climate-smart agriculture, livestock value chains, agro-processing, renewable energy, and digital inclusion, providing investors with a roadmap to unlock the region's untapped potential.
This SDG Investors Map is a tool that was developed by UNDP, Africa Sustainable Financial Hub, to be able to help UNDP work with private sector so that private sector can be able to identify sectors that can accelerate the achievement of the SDGs. For us working in the resilience and in the border areas, one of the critical issues was how do we then accelerate development? But then we had the area-based portfolio where we have 4 pillars in terms of how do we achieve the leave no one behind. So in these 4 pillars, one is to improve agricultural productivity and livestock productivity. The second is in improving access to finance. And the third is climate smart infrastructure. And lastly but not least is how do we apply vertical and horizontal social cohesion in terms of ensuring that this development actually is done within a peaceful situation. But above that, we realize that because the borderlands are actually treated as peripheries, in most cases, they are not included in budgeting. But then when it comes to, for instance, countries' GDP, we count the informal cross-border trading. So therefore, we thought, why we already have a tool, the SDG Investor Map, why don't we then apply that tool? So what we did in partnership and collaboration with colleagues from our UNDP Africa Sustainable Financial Hub in Pretoria, the UNDP Country Office, and the UNDP Uganda Country Office, we hired a consultant who was able to help us collect data and identify what we call the investment opportunity areas.
On 29th of July, we had a one-day investment forum here in Kapenguria, whereby UNDP supported us with consultants who came around to be able to document investment opportunities along this borderland of Kenya and Uganda. And there is a huge opportunity, very enormous opportunities along this area that the borderlands communities can be able to enhance. And as the county government of West Pokot, we are in discussions with other partners of holding the first West Pokot County Investment Conference, that is next year in 2026. And together with UNDP Kenya Country Office, as well as the Resilience Hub, we are going to work together so that we can be able to scale and be able to support the communities in this side of Kenya to be able to get economic empowerment.
But perhaps the most powerful achievement is ownership. The way communities themselves have embraced and led this transformation. From Moroto to Kapenguria, from Amudat to Kacheliba, local leaders, women and youth have become champions of change. Even though the project is concluding, the gains in Karamoja are not an ending, but a beginning, a model for borderlands across Africa. Karamoja is rising, from hardship to resilience, from division to peace. Their story is proof that even in the most fragile places, transformation is possible.